Good morning, traders and investors around the world, and welcome to Thursday's edition of premarketinfo.com, where we do the best to prepare you for this crazy overnight activity and, of course, the first hour of the day. Well, Dennis, I got some news for you. European bank crisis seems to be getting solved here.
Yeah, they've made a Euro deal there to give Greece a second bailout, so that's got the European banks flying like I've never seen them fly before here, Joel. You've got some of these up 14, 15%, so these European banks, all your financials are going to be your movers here today.
Okay, well, moving on to the Big Ten. I haven't had to do this in a while, but posted the numbers last night and kind of had to scale it up a little bit. Glow back slow, folks. Anybody that bought the close last night, good for you, because we hit the close and we never looked back. Currently that 1237.50, we have an upside target of 1267.50. We've hit that target, folks, even before the market opened. So above that area, I do see some minor resistance. The other number, if this thing's going to keep going, you need to keep an eye on the high that we had August 2nd, believe it or not, at 1277.50. Moving on to the Big Ten, not as many financials in here as represented by the market here going up. But Apple Computer might have to adjust some numbers there. I have a breakout above the 406.55 level. So come down, we will be using that as support. 408.42 is the 6-day high. And then the other number that comes to mind, Dennis, is 415.99. And that was the low of the day that they announced the earnings and the gap down from. So that could be where we're going in Apple.
Yeah, we do have that gap to fill. I definitely think you've given them a good number with that 406.65 area. Obviously, if we open up above that, that could provide some support. We're still a ways from the open, though. It's 407.20, not too far above that. So if it did open below there, maybe you get a little resistance. So maybe use that for your swing number. You do get that gap in there, Joel, the gap from the earnings. So if it starts to go into that, it could flow up, fairly quickly into the 415 area. But I don't know if it's going to, we're going to continue the momentum. This is a financial-based rally here today, so some of your other stocks are actually lagging, and Apple being up only 1.6% with the market up 2.4%. Apple looks to be one of them as well.
Okay. ExxonMobil looks like someone got the memo on beating the street on the earnings. That did bust through that 80.50 yesterday, provided for a pretty good trade. Got up to 81.27 before peeling back a tad at closing it, got to 81.27 with the close at 81.07. Looking at 82.45, the high from July 28th, looks like it's going to come into play early in the session. Above that, we have some minor resistance at 83.31. If you get a chance to buy to yesterday's high or the close today on a sell-off, that should provide support.
Just reporting earnings right now is where it's reporting, and obviously 82.01 trading right now. So really, the numbers look to be in line on the top numbers here. So not really sure if it's going to hold up here or not. 82.20 is the last trade after closing 81.07. I don't know what to say, Joel. You're kind of in the middle of nowhere here. If it pulled back to that 80 area, I'd still be a buyer. Above here, I'm kind of just sitting on my hands.
Okay, folks, just keep an eye so far on, in the pre-market. We have hit 82.60, so we'll keep an eye on that number on the upside. IBM, trading up as well this morning, busting through Monday and Tuesday's highs. We're holding that level as of right now, so we'll use the 182.89 area, which was Tuesday's high, as support. Going up, we're still trying to fill that gap from the earnings announcement. The close on that day was 186.59, so that could be where IBM's headed today.
Yeah, it looks like it's trying to fill that gap here in the pre-market. 184.74 was trading up at 185. So you do have some error in where that gap was from the earnings day. Again, though, I don't know why I'm thinking this, but it's such a financial-based rally. I wonder, some of these tech stocks that open up 2% or so, if they're going to hold up or not.
Okay. Microsoft finally broke down yesterday, Dennis. Got down to 26.10, kind of sneaked down there. Now it popped up, settled a little bit higher on the day. We will use Wednesday's highs. Looks like we're going to open right into that area, 27.06. Going to be opening right into that resistance. So there's a stock that you might be able to buy without the gap up. And once again, Dennis, you're talking about the tech sector might not participate as much today. We still have looming above us that 27.50 level.
Yeah, that 27.40, 27.50. So if you're shorting it at 27, which actually looks like a decent short on the charts, you kind of got to give it up to that 27.40, 27.50. So, if you're a swing trader out there, longer term strategy, 40, 50 cents risk maybe isn't that bad for you. If you're a day trader like I am, 40, 50 cents risk is a little bit. I'd probably be shorting the 27.20s, 27.30s, but, it all depends on your time horizon and what your risk tolerance is.
Okay, Chevron Corporation, we had the old triple top there at the 106, 87, and 91 level. Stock is being forced up with the SPU, so we broke out above there. It's a long ways away, but that's going to act as support. Currently trading just above the high from July 26th, 108.47. Above that, the high at 109, and then here's a stock that a few weeks ago was under $90, and now is knocking on the door of all-time highs.
Yeah, it's knocking on the door there, Joe. We talked about this 110 area that we might be traveling there over the next few sessions. It's on 108.72, so it's getting close now. Depending on your risk tolerance, I think you'll see huge resistance up there at that old all-time high, 109.94 to the just call it 110. Obviously it gets up to there. As a day trader, I'd probably be selling it. As a swing trader, it looks kind of tempting even in the 108s here.
Okay. J&J, we should have an interesting open here, Dennis. Is that seller still looming at 65?
This is interesting, Joel, because yes, he is still there at 65. Couple 100,000 shares. The problem is, 50 cents up on J&J is only up 0.8%. So you wonder if the fair value players will press it over that at the open, or if the 65 will hold. I think it'll have a challenge opening over 65, but it might open there and then move higher. Hard to say. I'd definitely keep an eye on that 65. Use that for your swing number. It starts to take out that 65 and start traveling higher during the day. I know it's trading 65.14 right now, but it still hasn't taken out that seller because that liquidity does not become available until 9:30, that liquidity on the NYSE. So keep an eye on that 65 level. Use that for your swing number. If that can hold, it could still sell off from there.
I mean, is it bid at all with any kind of volume?
No, there's nothing bid yet. It's too early because you get a lot of most of your volume during the day is typically high frequency volume, and that will come in with about 5 minutes before the open. So right now it looks like there's no way it's going to open over 65 because I just see that large seller looming. But I know as the open comes closer, you'll see bidders start to come in. Now it's just a matter whether it has enough momentum to push it through that 65 or not.
I just wonder, why the guy, if he wants to sell $500,000 that bad, if he's just not like peppering every bid that comes out here, then he has less to sell on the open. But
well, I think that's just your portfolio managers. Some of them are not very active. They throw an order out there and they don't look at the stock again. This order, we've been watching this order for 3 weeks here, so it's probable that the guy is just not even looking at the stock at all. Whoever has that huge order out there, but it's definitely going to come into play today. Wouldn't be surprised if it did get taken out. But, then you think about the tractor being placed, you think about crowded trades, so it's not necessarily just because it gets taken out that it's going to rally too. It depends on how many other people are, how crowded that trade is.
Okay. Good. Good explanation of that. Okay. Procter & Gamble, unch right now, kind of batting around with the earnings. We have, major resistance at 67.60, a ways away fair. That was a high back in May. Something may come into play today. There was the high from last week, which was made on Friday at 66.30. 65.37 was also stopping point. Coming back on the downside, major support at 64.
Yeah, 66, I like that number too, Joel. There was some size up there. I can't see that far in the book today, this morning actually, but there was size there before. I'm not sure. We're obviously trading flat here right now, 64.95, so your earnings is going to be your driver. But if it was to drive up to that 66 area, I think, you might see some sellers up there.
Okay, AT&T, test Monday's high here at 29.14. Then we have that major resistance from 29.35 to 43. Could definitely get a test of that today. A breakout above there. We're pretty open up to the 30 level. Coming back on the downside, if you get to buy it at yesterday's high, you're probably getting a pretty good purchase. Any comments on AT&T?
Yeah, same thing. That 29.30 area, if it was to open up into there, I'd probably be trying to short there.
Okay, General Electric, Tuesday and Wednesday's high is matching at 16.50, so that's going to provide good support. Looks like we're going to test that 16.80 to 87 level, which was the highs from last week. Actually, the weekly high was 16.98, so it's probably going to be thick up to 17. Above 17, you got some room on the upside up to the 17.5 level.
Yeah, I like selling in the 16.90s here. I think you see major resistance at 17.
Okay, Coca-Cola here, trying to mount a little bit of a rally here. Currently trading above Friday's and Monday's high, so could be some resistance at the 69 level, coming back down the close and Wednesday's high, real close to each other, 67.47 to 67.54. Just kind of the way these stocks closed yesterday, Dennis. It looks like someone had a little inkling that there's going to be some good news overnight. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, probably. There always seems to be somebody that knows the story before everybody else knows the story. So sometimes just watching the charting patterns, you can get, I know even like some traders, like you think about John and Jerry, always talks about watching the options to get a tell too, because if people, all of a sudden there's a lot of action in some option contracts, that might be somebody that knows something too. So watching the technicals can sometimes give you an idea that, maybe where it's going, the stock. This stock's interesting, Coke. It's going to open up right around resistance here again. That 68.60 area that had topped out there last week. So be interesting to see if that'll hold or if it'll move higher from there.
Okay, we're going to take a break. Got our market movers coming up here. Maybe this GDP report will disappoint a little bit. We'll get a chance to buy things a little bit cheaper or short them a little bit higher. We'll be right back.